today we're going to be driving into something I've been getting into lately, the world of cold plunge and sauna.
Oh, nice.
And especially for you, I know you're an athlete and you're really interested in how this therapy can affect athletes specifically with things like norepinephrine release and, mitochondrial rejuvenation and all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to get into it.
And the science behind it is actually super fascinating. And I've even started like dabbling in it myself, like, doing like DIY ice baths at home, kind of like that Wim Hof stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard about that.
But, we've got an expert with us today, or at least an expert's writing. We've got Eddie's ultimate guide to cold plunge and sauna here in Thailand. And this guy, Eddie, he actually went and explored over 20 different spas in Bangkok to find the best one.
Wow, that's dedication.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. And I'm really interested to hear your take on it as we go along. But first off, I want to jump into Eddie's experience with cold plunge. He really doesn't sugarcoat it. He talks about that initial shock of hitting the cold water.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know all too well from my own little, DIY attempts.
Yeah.
But then something really incredible happens.
What's that?
Like your body just kind of kicks into high gear and activates all these crazy physiological responses.
It's like a total system reset or reboot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So walk us through that. Like what's actually going on in our bodies when that happens?
Well, one of the first things that happens is your body activates these specific proteins that actually target your fat cells.
Oh.
And these proteins, they help break down the fat and they release it into your bloodstream for energy.
Okay.
And Eddie, he cites studies showing this can increase your metabolic rate by up to 80%.
80%. Whoa, it's huge.
Yeah, it's a big jump.
That's like getting a bonus workout just from taking a cold plunge.
Right.
That's wild. Okay, but what about the mental side of things? I know you mentioned norepinephrine earlier. That's something our listener is really keen on as well.
Yeah, totally. So that initial shock of the cold, it actually triggers this surge of different neurochemicals,
Right.
including adrenaline and dopamine and, like you said, norepinephrine.
Okay.
And norepinephrine is this super powerful neurotransmitter that basically helps your body respond to stress.
Right.
But it also plays a key role in boosting your focus and alertness.
So it's like a natural performance enhancer almost.
Exactly. Think about it as an athlete. You're constantly pushing your limits, both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And norepinephrine is there to help you stay sharp and focused and energized. And that can actually lead to better workouts and faster recovery.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got the cold plunge, kind of like waking up our system, boosting metabolism and triggering all these cool neurochemicals.
Right.
But I know Eddie doesn't just stop at the cold plunge. He's a big advocate for combining it with sauna.
Oh.
So what's the reasoning behind that?
Well, it's all about contrast therapy. So the heat from the sauna, it dilates your blood vessels, and then the cold from the plunge constricts them. So it's like interval training for your cardiovascular system.
Interesting. So like high intensity interval training, but for your blood vessels.
You got it.
That's pretty cool.
And it's similar to those high intensity workouts you're already familiar with as an athlete.
Yeah.
So it's this back and forth between hot and cold. And it creates this dynamic challenge for your body, which leads to improved circulation, reduced inflammation, and an overall boost in cardiovascular health.
So we're pushing our bodies to adapt and get stronger, just like with interval training.
Precisely. It's like supercharging the benefits of both therapies.
Okay, so we've got the cold plunge working its magic. We've got the sauna doing its thing. And then the combination of the two is like this 1-2 punch for overall health and performance.
Exactly.
I love it. But we're just scratching the surface here. I know we're going to dive deeper into the specific benefits of sauna therapy and how it relates to your interest in mitochondrial rejuvenation. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Can't wait.
All right, we'll be right back after the break.
So we were talking about mitochondrial rejuvenation, right? Yeah.
And how that ties into sauna therapy. So basically the heat stress from the sauna, it triggers your body to produce these things called heat shock proteins.
Heat shock proteins. Okay, that sounds kind of intense.
Yeah.
What are those and how do they work?
Well, you can think of them as like tiny little repair crews inside your cells. Their job is to fix damage, reduce inflammation, and basically keep everything running smoothly.
Okay.
And the really cool part is that they play a crucial role in protecting and even enhancing your mitochondrial function.
Okay, now hold on. Remind me again. Why are mitochondria so important?
Right. So mitochondria, they're like the powerhouses of our cells.
Right.
They're responsible for generating all the energy we need for, everything we do, from moving our muscles to thinking to just keeping our bodies functioning.
Okay.
So having healthy mitochondria basically means more energy, better performance, and even like a stronger defense against aging and disease.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned that I'm always complaining about being tired, so also could actually help with that. Yeah, exactly. It's like giving your cells a tune-up for energy production.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so we've got the cold plunge doing its thing. The sauna is boosting those mitochondria, and then the combo of the two is like a supercharged workout for our circulation.
Exactly. And there's even more to it than that. Like Eddie, he quotes a study that found that people who use the sauna regularly, like 4 to 7 times a week, they had a 50% lower risk of cardiovascular death compared to people who only used it once a week.
Oh, 50%. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a pretty big difference.
That's pretty compelling evidence. But honestly, finding time for the sauna, that often sounds kind of tough, even for someone like me who's really into health and wellness.
Yeah, I get it. It's all about finding what's sustainable for you.
Right.
Even incorporating sauna sessions a couple of times a week can still give you some really significant benefits.
Okay, that makes it feel better.
Yeah.
So we've got all these amazing benefits, but what really blew my mind was when Eddie was talking about how he used to just like convert these ice chest coolers into ice baths back when he was living in LA and Austin and even Ohio.
That's so resourceful.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows you don't need some fancy setup to benefit from temperature therapy.
Yeah.
You can get creative and find ways to do it right at home.
Absolutely. And Eddie's resourcefulness is super inspiring. He even gives specific recommendations for creating your own DIY ice bath setup, which I think could be really helpful for our listeners.
That's a great point. Speaking of recommendations, Eddie does have a favorite spot in Bangkok for all of this, right?
He does. After trying out over 20 different places, Eddie highly recommends Yunomori Onsen.
Oh, yeah?
It's a traditional Japanese onsen in Bangkok, and he describes it as this beautifully designed space with separate areas for men and women.
Oh, yes, the traditional onsen experience. I've always wanted to try that. What else makes this place so special?
Well, according to Eddie, Yunomori Onsen offers a variety of different baths, like mineral baths, Epsom salt baths, all designed to enhance relaxation and detoxification.
Right.
And he even mentions a meditation room with ambient music, which sounds perfect for unwinding after your contrast therapy session.
Wow, it sounds like a true oasis in the heart of Bangkok. And you mentioned that Eddie actually provides like a blueprint for the ultimate contrast therapy experience at this onsen, right?
He does. He suggests starting with 10 to 15 minutes in the sauna, followed by 2 to 3 minutes in the ice bath.
Okay.
But of course, those are just starting points. The key is to listen to your body and find what works best for you.
Yeah, for sure. We all respond to these therapies differently. But having a guide like Eddie's is a great way to start exploring and experimenting.
Absolutely. And beyond just the physical benefits, Eddie also talks about the mental and emotional aspects of temperature therapy.
Okay.
He describes the cold plunge as a form of meditation, forcing you to be present in the moment and confront those initial feelings of discomfort.
Oh, I can see that it's like training your mind to stay calm and focused, even when things get a bit uncomfortable.
Exactly. And then the sauna offers this incredible sense of relaxation and release.
Mm-hmm.
The heat helps to melt away stress and tension, leaving you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. It's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system.
So it's not just about physical performance, it's about mental resilience and overall well-being, too.
Precisely. It's about creating that harmony between your mind and body. And what's really inspiring is how Eddie emphasizes the importance of community and connection in this whole journey.
Ah, so it's not just a solo pursuit.
Not at all. He highlights how places like Yunomori Onsen, with their shared spaces like the meditation room, create a sense of camaraderie among the people who are embracing these practices.
That makes a lot of sense. There's something powerful about sharing these experiences with others, especially when it comes to something as unique as temperature therapy. It's like having a support system as you explore these new frontiers of health and well-being.
Exactly. And that's something we really value here at the Deep Dive as well, fostering a sense of community and shared exploration.
Right. It's all about learning from each other, supporting each other, and pushing each other to reach our full potential.
And speaking of pushing our potential, what really stood out to me in Eddie's guide is how he provides such a practical roadmap for incorporating cold plunge and sauna into your routine.
You're right. It's not just theory or abstract concepts.
Yeah.
He gives you clear steps, and he even shares his own experiences, making it feel relatable and achievable. That's what makes Eddie's guide so valuable, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It takes these sometimes complex ideas and translates them into actionable steps that anyone can follow, whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting to explore the world of temperature therapy.
And what I love is that he doesn't just focus on the physical steps. He talks about the mental preparation involve the importance of listening to your body and finding what works best for you.
It's about embracing that journey of self-discovery and making temperature therapy a sustainable part of your lifestyle.
Exactly. It's not about
Yeah.
pushing yourself to extremes, but rather about finding that sweet spot where you're challenging yourself while also honoring your body's limits.
It's about harnessing the power of these natural elements, heat and cold, to optimize your physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
It's like Eddie showing us that temperature therapy isn't some quick fix or fad. It's a journey of self-discovery. It's a way to connect more deeply with our bodies and unlock their amazing ability to heal and adapt.
And that's what makes it so empowering. You're not relying on external factors. You're tapping into your own innate capacity for well-being.
You know, it's inspiring to see how Eddie's passion for this practice has led him to explore all these different places and even experiment with DIY setups. He's really created a roadmap for others to follow.
And he doesn't gatekeep it. He openly shares his knowledge, his tips, his favorite spots, even his struggles along the way. It makes it feel accessible to anyone who's curious about exploring temperature therapy.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener? Well, hopefully this deep dive has piqued your interest in temperature therapy, especially considering your goals as an athlete. We've explored the potential benefits for norepinephrine release, boosting energy and focus, and we've delved into how sauna therapy can actually rejuvenate those mitochondria, those little powerhouses in your cells.
Remember, Eddie's guide is a fantastic starting point, but it's just the beginning. There's a whole world of knowledge and resources out there waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. We encourage you to do your own research experiment with different techniques. Find what feels right for your body. Maybe you'll even be inspired to create your own ultimate temperature therapy haven, just like Eddie.
And if you do, we'd love to hear about it. Share your experiences with us, your challenges, your triumphs. That's what the deep dive is all about. Building a community of curious minds, sharing knowledge and supporting each other on this journey of exploration and discovery.
So keep diving deep, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep that fire for knowledge burning bright.
Until next time.
Yeah, and it's so cool how he took his passion and went and explored all these different places and even experimented with those DIY setups. He really created a roadmap for other people.
Yeah, and he doesn't hold anything back. He shares his knowledge, his tips, his favorite spots, even the times he struggled.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it feel like anyone can do this if they're interested in temperature therapy.
Totally. So for you listening out there, hopefully this deep dive has gotten you interested in temperature therapy, especially if you're an athlete. We've explored the potential benefits for norepinephrine release, boosting your energy and focus. And we talked about how sauna therapy can help rejuvenate your mitochondria, those little powerhouses in your cells.
Right, and remember, Eddie's guide is a great starting point, but it's just the beginning. There's so much more to learn and explore out there.
Exactly. We encourage you to do your own research, try different things, and find what works best for you. Maybe you'll even be inspired to create your own ultimate temperature therapy spot, just like Eddie did.
And if you do, we'd love to hear all about it. Share your experiences with us, the good, the bad, everything. That's what the deep dive is all about, building a community, learning from each other, and supporting each other along the way.
So keep diving deep, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep that curiosity alive.
Until next time.